Okay, so I feel like I should probably do an update for the E34 M5 because I promised a few viewers that smells like something died in here. If I had to guess, it's probably a gecko. It's probably the same damn gecko that killed my fans. So I got the gauge changed, the cluster. Now the cluster is sort of working. The speedo is correct, the RPMs are correct, but this LCD panel, yeah, I guess I need to change the capacitors on it. The fan decided to die yesterday. It made like a grinding sound, almost like a coffee grinder. When I turned it on, it went like, and it just died. This car, like, don't get me wrong, I love driving it. It's one of my favorite cars to drive, but it's been a pain in the butt to deal with. Everything that can go wrong has been going wrong. Even this windshield cracked. I mean, it was sort of cracked before, but the crack just got worse. And to make matters worse, the fan stopped working on the same day that the driver's side window decided not to go down. So it's really hot in here. And what the hell is that smell? Like the other day I saw a gecko in the car. I have a feeling it's probably in the fan, and that grinding sound I heard is probably the gecko becoming Mexican food. Okay, so what am I gonna do with this car? I don't want to give up on it because this car, number one, was a gift, and I do like the way it drives. The engine is just lovely. It's sweet. It's so smooth. Makes the perfect sound. I honestly think it's one of the best sounding inline sixes that BMW has made. The S38, motorsport derived, super smooth. It's just really nice. About 2 months ago, I decided that I want to go standalone with this car. I already prepared the Link ECU. I'm waiting for the ECU plugs. They should be on their way. And magically, as soon as I decided to go standalone, you know what happened? The MAF sensor decided to fail. So, and don't forget, I've had the MAF sensor repaired before. I sent it to the UK and they sent me a replacement unit. So it should be new, but it broke. And according to the guy who fixed it for me, he said it's just been out of calibration, so he recalibrated it and sent it back to me. So I just got it back 2 or 3 days ago. And you know what? The car drives fine again. However, it doesn't drive exactly like how it did before. I feel like the entire fueling map, or maybe the ignition map as well, I'm not sure how these ECUs are written, it feels different. Like the management feels different. So when it gets hot at part throttle below 4,000, the car almost stutters as if it's too lean. So you don't have any power. And it's particularly noticeable when you are below 2,000. You try to give it a certain amount of gas, and then it will stutter. Like you can almost feel the car jolt a little bit. But as soon as you pass 4,000 RPM, you put your foot down, it sings. Like it pulls really hard. I think it pulls harder than what it did before. So either way, it doesn't really matter to me right now, because I am going to go standalone, and I believe that is the best way to make use of this engine. I feel like all these sensors and the Bosch Motronic 1.2 is just out of date, and it's really not made for the climate here. It's probably too hot or something. I can feel this car has so much potential, and I've seen people who do go standalone, they get massively improved low-end torque, which is what I believe this car really needs. The top end also gains a bit more horsepower, but I'm not really looking for that. I just want the mid-range to be better than what it is, and also the reliability of this car to improve. Honestly, this car has just been probably the most unreliable car that I've ever owned. Every time I drive it, something goes wrong, and it's always something new. Like just last week, the headlight decided to give up. Just all these small things, you know. It's really annoying. This LCD thing. You know how much I paid for this gauge? I don't even want to mention it. It's like it's a lot of money, and it worked. It worked for a week, and after a week, the LCD just decided to go haywire on me. It's really disappointing. But at least the speedo and the RPMs are correct. Previous unit was way off, you know. Just made the driving experience so much worse, because you're thinking, hey, I'm at 4,000, it should be like the torque should be there, and you floor it and there's nothing, and then comes up at around 5,000 and it revs all the way to 8, past 8, and you're just like, what the hell? But when this engine comes alive, you forget everything. You forget the AC doesn't work. You forget that there is a flat spot below 4,000, and you forget how unreliable this car has been, and you just enjoy it for what it is. And that's why I'm not giving up on it, because I can see a lot of potential for this car. I know I've probably just been unlucky, because many people who do own E34s don't really have much issue. It's probably just my car, because it was not maintained properly. So I really want to give it a chance. Look, I'm not sure if you could feel that, but it took a while to pick up right there. Don't want to rev it too much right now, because the engine oil is not up to temp. So glad this started working. This wasn't working before. This is the whole reason why I decided to use the new gauge instead of the old one, which the LCD does work. It's like I have to choose between working dials or working LCD screen, and I chose the dials, obviously. So just to give you an example of how little power there is, I'm trying to keep up with this pickup at 2005. I floor it, nothing. Look, at 3,000 I floor it, nothing, and then it starts to sing right before 4,000, and you can see the LCD just doing its shit. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. And at part throttle, you feel a lot of flat spots, so so you really have to go foot to the floor. And then I'll sing. I do like the steering of this car. It's really nice. The gear shift, although a little bit rubbery, I like it. It's rubbery in the right way, if that makes any sense. These gears are really long, by the way. This car has really long gears. But I know it's kind of made for cruising. It's made for the Autobahn, so yeah, I get it. Oh, and heel and toe is really difficult in this car. It doesn't blip really well. You have to be very slow with the blips. You almost have to hold it down for like over 1 second for it to blip. Which is weird because it's got ITBs, naturally aspirated. It should blip well, right? Yeah, you see? It takes a while to pick up. And it gets worse the hotter it gets. But you forget all that once the engine sings. The wail, as my friend says. The wail of the straight six. So many flat spots. I tried playing with the Allen key and the MAF. Right now the resistance between pin 3 and 6 is around 304 ohms. I moved it up to 450 and it still drove the same. So yeah, I set it back to what it was before. I don't want to mess with it. I don't think that's the answer to my questions. What I do need is to go standalone, so this engine can be in the right ignition map and the right fueling map for it to drive nicely in Bangkok, in this weather, in this humidity and this heat. And I might also have to upgrade the radiator. I've been told the one on this car is a little bit too skinny. It could use a bit more volume to help with the cooling. Thank you. It's pretty fast. Pretty sure a gecko died in here. So I hope the next time I post a video about this car, it will have its AC fixed, the windows working, and hopefully with a functional standalone ECU that's making the most out of this car. It's a lot to ask for. It's a lot of money. But I really want to do good for this car. It deserves it. It really deserves it.